What if a single artist could change the way we see books, homes, and even everyday objects? Walter Crane wasn't just a painter or an illustrator, he was a visionary who transformed art, design, and storytelling. From his breathtaking fairy tale illustrations to his revolutionary ideas in interior decoration, Crane's work helped shape the arts and crafts movement, a movement that fought against mass production and brought beauty back into daily life. But why was his work considered so groundbreaking? And how did his artistic vision influence everything from children's books to modern graphic design? Today we dive into the fascinating world of Walter Crane, his art, his ideas, and the legacy he left behind. Walter Crane's rise as an artist happened during a time of great change in England. The late 19th century was marked by rapid industrialization. Factories were mass-producing goods at an unprecedented scale, and handcrafted art was slowly fading into the background. This was the era of Victorian England, a time of strict social structures, growing cities, and a booming publishing industry. Books were becoming more affordable, making illustrated literature more accessible to the public. At the same time, however, many artists felt that industrialization was stripping beauty from everyday life. Crane, along with artists like William Morris, became one of the leading figures of the arts and crafts movement. This movement was a direct response to industrialization, advocating for a return to handcrafted, high-quality artistry in furniture, textiles, and, of course, illustration. Crane's influence wasn't limited to books. His ornamental patterns, textile designs, and decorative murals shaped the way people thought about everyday objects. His art blurred the line between fine art and applied art, proving that beauty wasn't just for galleries, it could be part of daily life. But before he became a revolutionary designer, Crane was a young artist with a passion for illustration. Let's take a look at how he found his path and became one of the most influential visual artists of his time. Walter Crane was born in 1845 in Liverpool, England, into a family of artists. His father, Thomas Crane, was a skilled portrait painter, which meant that young Walter was surrounded by art from an early age. This early exposure fueled his passion for drawing and design, setting the stage for his future career. By the time he was a teenager, Crane had already begun working as an apprentice under William James Linton, one of England's most respected wood engravers. This experience gave him an inside look at the world of book illustration and printmaking, skills that would later define his career. His big break came in the 1860s when he was commissioned to illustrate a series of children's books. At the time, children's book illustration was still evolving, and Crane brought a fresh perspective. Instead of creating simple, straightforward images, he designed detailed, decorative illustrations that turned books into works of art. These books, often called toy books, became hugely popular, and Crane quickly gained a reputation as one of the most talented illustrators of his generation. But he didn't stop there. While many artists focused solely on book illustration, Crane was constantly experimenting. His work extended into textiles, wallpaper designs, and even stained glass. By the 1870s, he had aligned himself with William Morris, one of the most influential designers of the arts and crafts movement. Together, they fought against the growing trend of mass production, believing that art should be both beautiful and functional. Despite his growing success, Crane remained deeply political. He was an outspoken socialist and believed that art should be accessible to all, not just the wealthy elite. This philosophy shaped his career and influenced the types of projects he chose to work on. Now, let's explore the artistic style that made Walter Crane so distinctive and the masterpieces that solidified his legacy. Walter Crane's art was a fusion of storytelling, decoration, and symbolism. He was deeply influenced by medieval art, classical mythology, and Japanese woodblock prints, all of which shaped his signature style. His works featured bold outlines, flat areas of color, intricate patterns, and flowing organic lines, elements that later became key features of the Art Nouveau movement. One of Crane's greatest strengths was his ability to combine illustration with design. His images weren't just decorative, they were carefully composed, often incorporating elaborate borders and ornamental motifs that made each piece feel like a complete visual experience. Among his most famous works are children's book illustrations. His illustrations for classic fairy tales such as Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, and Cinderella became iconic. He revolutionized children's books by making them not just readable, but visually stunning, turning them into works of art. The Baby's Opera, 1877, a collection of nursery rhymes accompanied by his whimsical illustrations, this book remains a beloved example of his storytelling genius. Political and allegorical works. Crane was also known for his socialist ideals, and many of his paintings and posters carried strong political messages, advocating for equality and social justice. Textile and wallpaper designs. His collaboration with William Morris led to a range of floral and nature-inspired patterns, which influenced the decorative arts for decades. His use of vibrant colors and detailed compositions set him apart from other illustrators of his time. He wasn't just creating pictures, he was building a visual language that would influence entire generations of designers and artists. But beyond his artistic innovations, why does his work still matter today? Let's explore how Crane's legacy continues to shape modern illustration, design, and the way we experience art in everyday life. Walter Crane wasn't just an artist. He was a visionary who changed the way we experience books, design, and everyday objects. His influence extends far beyond the Victorian era, shaping modern illustration, graphic design, and even interior decoration. One of his greatest contributions was redefining children's book illustration. Before Crane, children's books were often dull, with minimal imagery. He transformed them into rich, immersive visual experiences, setting a new standard for book illustration that remains to this day. His work inspired modern illustrators like Arthur Rackham and Maurice Sendak, proving that children's literature could be both educational and artistically sophisticated. Crane's impact on design and decorative arts is equally profound. His intricate textile and wallpaper patterns influenced the Art Nouveau movement, which later evolved into modern graphic design and branding. Even today, his floral and geometric motifs can be found in home decor, fashion, and product packaging. His political activism also set him apart. At a time when art was often reserved for the wealthy elite, Crane championed socialist ideals, believing that beauty should be accessible to everyone. This philosophy is echoed in today's movements promoting sustainable, handcrafted, and ethical design, where craftsmanship is valued over mass production. Ultimately, Walter Crane's legacy is about more than just aesthetics. He believed that art should be woven into everyday life, making the world more beautiful, meaningful, and connected. His work continues to remind us that creativity isn't just for galleries. It's something that can shape the way we live, read, and experience the world. Now let's conclude by reflecting on Walter Crane's extraordinary contributions and why his art still resonates today. Walter Crane was more than just an illustrator. He was a pioneer who reshaped the way we see art in everyday life. His ability to blend narrative, design, and decoration made him one of the most influential artists of his time. And his legacy continues to inspire illustrators, designers, and craftsmen today. He transformed children's books, proving they could be as visually stunning as they were educational. He revolutionized textile and wallpaper design, influencing the birth of the Art Nouveau movement, and he used his art as a tool for social change, advocating for a world where beauty wasn't just for the elite, but for everyone. Despite the passing of over a century, Crane's work remains relevant. His intricate patterns, bold lines, and artistic philosophy can still be seen in modern graphic design, interior decor, and contemporary illustration. His vision, that art should be a part of daily life, continues to shape the way we experience beauty in the world around us. So what do you think? Should art serve a higher purpose beyond aesthetics, or is beauty valuable on its own? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Walter Crane's world, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about visionary artists and forgotten masters. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.